So let's do it. Yeah. Okay, well, it is August 7th, 2023, and I will call the meeting to order. I have Jerry Tenbush here, myself, Hannah Smith, Julie Cooper online, Julie Colton, and Lonzo Tackett. And first thing, public comment. Do we have anything? Are you guys here for public?
I think we adopt the minutes before public comment. I don't. I'm pulling
Number
up the
2 is
comments.
It's usually public comment
Oh, okay.
first.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
it's okay.
That is true.
We do, no, we have number 8, the last.
Oh, last.
Yeah, so if you guys want to wait. Okay. How are you, Jordan? Good morning. Okay, so no public comment, nobody online? I don't think so. All right. All right, so we are going to, was everybody able to look at the minutes from last meeting?
Yes.
All right.
Was
So-
Connie gonna be online? I can't remember.
She said she was gonna try
Right, okay.
Yeah,
because she's driving.
Mhm,
yeah,
okay.
that's
But-
that's what I remember too.
Um,
I feel so.
I know, come closer. Juan said he's coming too, but. So. Can I make a motion to adopt the minutes from last meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Julie? Good, all right. All right, so first things first, sorry. Let me close. So we are gonna debrief the EC Dev joint session that we had. And you were here, right, Julie? Or I saw Lonzo on the,
Mhm, Yeah.
I couldn't get my internet to
Okay.
let me in. I
I
tried.
couldn't tell who was here. Hey, Juan, good morning.
Mm.
And so does anybody want to kind of take that?
Well, I think
Anybody
it's a-
have comments or?
Yeah. I think I like.
What we
the
took away from it or?
I think I like the idea because we're not limited just to downtown.
Mhm,
We can open up and we can talk about not just downtown, but
mhm,
everything else that's going on
yeah,
in, in the city. And I think it helps plan to bring things to like a greater success, and we can cover a lot more stuff.
yeah. I agree. Juan, were you at the economic development session?
No,
No, you weren't.
no.
Were you online? I
No.
forget. No, okay.
Oh, they told me it was no mandatory to.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it
it
was
wasn't.
mandatory visit.
No, it wasn't. I just, I was online, so I couldn't tell who was in the seats. Yeah, I thought it was helpful. I'm trying to, because I have a bunch of screenshots from that and then the Main Street webinar. So I'm trying to like categorize them, but
And I also think that, we haven't gotten approved for any Main Street like grants, right? And so is it really worth staying
mhm,
on the Main Street when we've been doing it for so long and we
Mhm.
haven't gotten anything out of it, right?
yeah,
Well, you have, the Mossy Rock Building, we received the
Mossy.
$200,000 grant from them to do that building.
And when was that? That's before my time,
Yeah, it was
before my time.
2019.
2019.
So it was
Okay, not
fairly
too long,
recently.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that you got that one. I thought it was the urban.
we
But-
did put some urban renewal funds towards it also, but they did get the $200,000 from the revitalization grant to
Mhm.
redo that building.
Okay.
Cool. Because I'm trying to compare the ECDev meeting with the Main Street webinar
Mhm.
and try to correlate those two? Because were those trying to, I mean, for the staff, were those trying to supposed to kind of go together
Those
or
were
not really,
unrelated.
not really related?
The ECDev 101 joint
Just
session.
because I think his comments are more towards the Main Street,
Oh,
I
okay.
think. I don't know.
Yeah, the ECDev 101 joint session with the council with the that was led by the RDI Rural Development Initiatives folks.
Mhm.
That was put together basically in anticipation of potentially some upcoming conversations between you all and the city council and staff and the city council related to their economic development goals. Former co-chair Bennett, as you all know, was questioning the value of staying in the Main Street program.
Mhm.
And so one of the questions that we would bring to the council, if you all still want to bring that question to the council, would be, do we or do we not want to keep this commission
Right.
in the Main Street program? There are a lot of implications to consider
Mhm.
if you were to exit the Main Street program. And so if we want to get into some of those now, we can. If you want us to come back with some more context and information to help inform your discussion, just as the DEC on that topic, we can do that. Like, for example, kind of a list of like, well, what benefits have we kind of tangible benefits that we could point to that we've gotten from participating in the program so far. And looking at what the alternatives might be if the council decided, yeah, we do want to exit the program, then what are they going to do with the DEC? Because this
Right.
commission exists to operate as the
Oh.
Main Street program
Right.
implementation group. And so there is a small chance that the council would say, okay, we don't want to be in the program, and that means we don't need a DEC at all, right? So
And that's where the meeting or the ECDev was kind of to see if we would become an economic development commission or
that's
just
not
talk about it.
right.
or is
It's
that-
it's really just it was really just to get both the DEC and the council on the same page about what is economic development. Economic development is something that this commission is supposed to be doing, you know, as one of the 4 tenets
Mhm.
of the Main Street program. Those all relate to promoting economic development in your downtown core.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, if you're gonna be talking about staying or leaving the Main Street program, as it relates to the city's economic development, it's important for you all and the council to have kind of a shared understanding of what economic development even is, like what are the different tools and
Right.
strategies that the city could be using. Yeah, so it was more so just like a primer, not intended to guide you towards any one decision over the other.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to debrief that information, ask any questions about that, talk about potential next steps. This would be an opportunity to talk about if you do want to move forward with that conversation or just exploration of staying in the Main Street program or not. We can help gather information or, you know, help support you all having that conversation and eventually having that conversation with the city council who would make that decision.
How long have we been in the Main Street program?
So depends what you mean by we, because originally the organization was not housed within the city. It was the Estacada
Development
help me out,
Association.
Development, not downtown association.
EDA.
And so it was a separate independent nonprofit organization, which is usually what Main Street organizations are supposed to be. That organization was I wasn't here at that time, so I'm saying things that other people have told me, but was struggling to maintain itself. And the city saw value in what it was doing and saw value in having some group locally that was advancing these different, initiatives within the Main Street program, saw value in the opportunities and resources that we can access through the Main Street program. And so the city agreed to take on basically providing a staff person and providing the organizational support for that group to still exist. And so that's when that was in 2018, it became the DEC and no longer was an independent nonprofit. I
So,
think I got that right.
so you break that down, 5 years being part of the Main Street program. We've gotten $200,000. Money wise, we've gotten $200,000. I don't know what other benefits we've had from it, but I mean, that's $40,000 a year. That's pretty good. I mean, that seems like a pretty good program. I mean, 40
Yeah.
grand a year.
Yeah, and I will say there's things that you guys have chosen not to take advantage of. Like they offered a grant last year for, I think it was 3,500 to do strategic planning. And you
Yeah.
felt like your strategic plan was good. You chose not to take advantage of that. That would have been $3,500 that you guys could have gotten in for a consultant to come in and take you through strategic planning.
And so that's something that we could look further into and try to condense or summarize those opportunities and resources that we could be taking advantage of, but just haven't been for one reason or another. COVID times were weird times, like things have been weird. So yeah, I think if you're gonna earnestly consider leaving this program, which we staff believe has a lot of potentially really great opportunities that we could be taking advantage of, we would hope that we would want to help you take a real good hard look at how could we be taking advantage of some of those opportunities that we haven't been.
So if we re-up, I don't know the proper term, but if we get back into or re-sign with the Main Street program, how long is that?
We're still in Main Street.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
is
but we have
there's no
left.
time?
Every year we do an annual report and and there's quarterly reports that staff does. But other than that, there's nothing that says you have to give us notification by this date or you're leaving.
Okay, so my honest suggestion, would be to maybe take a year and really dig into what opportunities, a year or so and really dig into what opportunities the Main Street program, because I know all of you are fairly new to this commission. I am too. I mean, this is my first year being part of this commission. So my recommendation would be to, take a year, really dig into what opportunities the Main Street program might be able to bring to, the city of Estacada, really dig in, see what opportunities are out there for us. Of course, I strongly recommend educating yourself, going through the program, reading it, taking the time and learning it. I mean, I'm still going through it. I've gone through a little bit of it, but go through, see what opportunities are there. Take some time, rather than us just going in and making a decision based on, really one person's opinion. I really, strongly suggest, going through and seeing what opportunities are there for us. And then, maybe revisit it after a year. Once we see what, because I don't know that we've ever really tapped into it as a commission, as a commission, really
Yeah.
went in and tapped into it. So, that would be my suggestion, really put some effort into what this program can bring to Estacada.
I'm sorry, I have two more things to add. The first one, this comment has come up a few times. The commission's been interested in being able to focus sometimes on areas of town that are outside of the downtown core. We talked about that with, I think Sherry, I forget her
Sherry
title.
Stewart.
with the, I think the
She's
state
Main Street organizer, that coordinator.
person, coordinator. And yeah, she noted that a lot of organizations actually do focus, well, their focus is on the downtown, but the scope of their purview extends beyond that downtown focus. And so that's something, it might require a code amendment, which would be easy enough to do. But that's something to consider, is that you could remain the Downtown Estacada Commission, the agent of, the Main Street program for the city, and still focus sometimes on areas outside of that downtown core. I think it would require a code amendment.
Mm.
So just noting that, something to consider. And then, dang it, I had a second thing, and I'll holler if it comes back.
And I also want to revisit that, because we are with the city, the Downtown Estacada Commission cannot specifically talk about a single business like Mossy Rock is having this sale for this week,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
Um,
And that wouldn't change if you were
An
an
economic-
development commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're tied to the government, which.
Yes.
That, it
It
makes
is,
sense.
it is in our policies, yeah.
And I understand. And so if we were to do something, we would have to get something from everyone, from every business, and say, okay, this is what's going on this week.
No, now are you a member of the chamber?
I am,
So you can also do that through the chamber. Any specific individual
for sure.
things can be done through the chamber.
Mhm. I'm just talking about bringing more awareness through our
Yeah.
avenue. Is that, and so.
Like, how does that look like?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through our social media,
Mhm.
through our newsletter. And everything. So, and then if a business decides to gaff us off and not add anything, then we're not contributing to everyone. And so we wouldn't be able to put that thing out that has everyone else's.
These
So-
are legally tricky questions that I'd love to
That's my
run.
middle name, actually.
I mean, I wonder if the DEC and or council could develop / update whatever policy we've got on that. And then we'd want to run it by the city attorney.
Yeah, if we have receipts for the emails that we sent out to specific businesses, that way, if they say, oh, you're not covering our business, well, and then we can say, well, at this exact time on this date, we sent this email to you to ask about what's going on in your business.
So
then-
the last time we had this discussion with council, we talked about promoting specific businesses.
Mhm.
And even if it was everybody in downtown sent you, hey, on
Mhm.
this weekend, we're having this sale,
Yeah,
that would be still promoting, because you're promoting people specifically, right? So it was more like promoting, hey, come downtown, hey, listing the types of businesses that are downtown, not like specific sales.
okay, so we could have, hey, in downtown, come check out
All the-
Blues or.
No,
No, it'd have to be
no.
all of them.
It'd be like, hey, come downtown and check out food and art and
Mhm.
fun.
Okay.
You can't single out a
Yeah.
Mm.
business.
And, okay,
There's other options than just being DEC or an economic development commission.
Mhm.
You could look at restarting a nonprofit,
nonprofit.
which was when you came in, and this is what we got from Sherry,
Mhm.
because none of us were here at that time either. So when it came in under the city's umbrella, the goal was that you would eventually become self-sufficient again and to
Yes.
become a nonprofit again. And that was the Main Street, the state Main Street organization was like, hey, yeah, we'll okay this, you remaining at this level,
Mhm.
because you're technically not fitting the qualifications for the level that we were at in
Mhm.
Main Street, because we know that you're going to be working towards self-sufficiency
To going
someday.
back to what.
Yes,
the-
to going back to having your own nonprofit.
Okay, so. Does anybody know what number we have to reach each year to be able to be self-sufficient? Hannah, is there a plan? Is there a
So the Main Street organization at the level you were at, and you can be at a lower level,
Mhm.
said that you should have at least a half-time staff person.
Mhm.
And so you would need to be able to raise enough funds in order to pay for a half-time staff person.
Okay,
And that was really their own, there was no number of participants, there was no, financial, it was just to have a half-time staff person.
okay. I had no
You-
idea
and-
about any of this stuff.
Yeah, and you could be at a lower level. You could
Mhm.
still stay in Main Street, not stay at the high level, because we were at the highest level possible. You could drop down another level and you
Mhm.
would not be required to have a staff person.
Okay.
There are some benefits that come at being at the higher level that
Mhm.
you would lose out on, like that $3,500 for strategic planning. But you'd still stay in Main Street and have less requirements.
Huh, okay. So our goal is to get back, actually, I didn't know, our goal is to get back to being self-sufficient and being a nonprofit. So we need to really dive into more events here so that we can pay for that.
Mhm.
Okay, I had no idea about
Mhm.
any of that stuff, so I guess that shifts my
Thinking.
my goals so that we can look at getting back to that nonprofit situation.
Yeah. And I agree with Jerry. With the Main Street, there's just a lot of, we need to look into it.
Yeah,
People, I
agree.
know it's hard
Yeah.
to review it, and the webinar, those are great, but they're long
Mhm,
and it's a lot of information,
mhm.
but it's
That's
taking
why
the
we need a
time
staff person,
to,
right?
yeah, I know. And if we can get, a meeting that's not a quorum,
Yeah.
if we can get people to meet outside of this and really do the pros and cons. And I like, Jerry, what you said, maybe push it off even more. So we don't make a decision that is just off one opinion. And
Agreed.
what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with Jerry.
I don't-
For sure. I mean, until like, I'm in this, I want to be able to, know what's going on so that we
Mhm.
can make those goals of, getting self-sufficient, so that 1 year of diving in and putting that off, because if we're able to really figure out for us to be on our own, then we can really highlight the downtown, then, yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Mhm.
Can staff help put a plan in place to get the commission to self-sufficiency?
Yeah, and like a budget and.
Yeah,
that's
I
all us.
honestly tried to do this
know.
before.
It's been it's been
I think
a,
with new leadership.
as you
Yeah.
know, it's been a year.
Yeah.
There's been so many,
We're here to help facilitate and administer. For you all to be most successful, the plan really needs to come from you and in consultation with the city council and kind of be owned in your minds,
Yeah,
that's what's gonna keep you motivated and invested and most successful in implementing that plan. But yes, of course, we're here to help set up meetings, gather information, condense materials. Yes, but we'll need obviously guidance from you on
Yeah.
what those needs are.
mhm. Okay.
And I think the rough 1 year timeline of kind of digging into this and working on it is a good idea. That seems like enough time to, I don't know if it would end up being a formal strategic planning process, or if you just want to kind of think of it that way. But ultimately what you're going to be doing is developing a work plan towards reaching some goals. And so you'll be identifying what those specific goals or objectives are and figuring out how are we going to get there. So that's something we can help you stay organized on.
So I had one more question. So that $3,500 strategic planning, is that off the table now, or is that still
I don't,
possibly
let me
available?
reach out to Sherry and see
Okay.
if that's still available.
I think that if we could get that, that would be a great benefit to
I know that Sherry from the Main Street, the state Main Street organization will come out here and
Like
help us
yearly.
do. So yeah,
Yeah.
at least once a year,
Yeah.
do strategic planning. So we can, if you guys wanted to plan a date, we could have her
Yeah.
come out here and help us
Do you-
work through that. And
Yeah.
she, has years and years of experience working with Main Street organizations all across the state and can bring a lot of value to that conversation.
Yeah, she does. Do you remember when we had that meeting? Was it earlier this year or was it?
It was,
way-
oh,
I'm trying to think.
I want
last
to
year?
say it was it was right around the end of the year. So it was either like November,
Oh.
December, maybe January. It was, yeah.
Okay, not quite this year.
But I think she'd be willing to come back if we ask her
Sure.
back, if that's something you guys want to plan.
Mhm. All right, yeah. Lots of stuff.
Mhm.
So for now, because I know we were trying to make a meeting with council, but can we all, do we have to make a motion to just agree that we're not gonna try and meet with council
No,
soon?
consensus is fine if everybody
Yeah.
just feels like that's good.
Because I know we were kind of trying to push for that, and then now we're putting the brakes on it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get together on our own time after we do some research, and come up with a better plan. Um,
So do you all want to put, would you like to have any discussion on this on your next meeting agenda? Do you want to decide right now who will work on what before the next meeting,
Hmm.
or
I vote we table it
just think
until
about it?
After October.
I was gonna say, I think Oktoberfest is kind of a big deal right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
So
that
if
would
we
be my
could
suggestion
pause
too.
it,
Okay,
not pause, but just, I think right now it's a lot, because we're in October, or August,
September.
yeah, I would wait maybe till at least an October meeting.
okay. So for now, we'll just put, tentatively have this on the first October
Mhm.
meeting agenda, if that works for you all.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's great.
Great.
Taylor. All right, Julie, anything?
You're
Can't
muted.
hear you.
Muted.
Can't hear you. If you're talking, can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay. I think definitely think that we should take advantage of that $3,500 grant if it's still available. That was the only thing that I just wanted to comment on.
Mhm. Yeah, do you
Yeah, I agree.
remember that, when she came?
No, and that's the thing. I'm just surprised that we would turn down that opportunity. I don't even recall us talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I think we have quite the number of new people, if you remember, Elena. I don't think Lonzo was here. I
No, I
don't think,
wasn't
I
there.
mean, Julie definitely won.
Thank you.
I saw Jerry wasn't here. Not that I'm not saying it matters, but it might, just because we kind of have a new refresh. So,
I think we're gonna be a little bit more open on guidance and.
yeah, and just new
Knowledge.
opinions and ideas, and I think it's a good thing. So thank you, Julie, for your comments. And, okay. And I think maybe in October on that meeting, we can maybe come up with, I don't know if a committee is the right word, but just a few people who are willing to like work together.
I think we almost
I don't-
want to bump it to November.
November.
Only because we'll be wrapping up the
Mhm.
Oktoberfest is the 23rd.
Yeah, a
And
couple weeks after that.
we may
just-
want to address the pros and cons of. what
Right, so
happened and
have people be able
Just a
to
thought.
research it.
Yeah, to give
Okay.
people a little more time to
Mhm.
dig in
Yeah,
thoughts.
okay. I like that. And just so give people hopefully October to,
Yeah, then
Come
we're
up with
not,
their
we're not
own-
working on
yeah.
Oktoberfest. We
Okay.
really don't have anything
I like
major
that.
that's going on.
Mhm.
just debrief from Oktoberfest, and then we can dig into the pros and cons
Okay.
and get what we need from Taylor and.
Just remember, guys, there's no push on this. You have as
Yeah,
long
yeah.
as you need to make an informed decision. So there's no push on this. Just, take your time with it and make an educated decision. That's what I suggest.
I don't, just my thought.
Yeah.
Bumping it out of just.
Sure.
just At least, and then if we need to revisit it in October, hey, still need to, a
Mhm.
little more research, we could bump it out. Just a
Okay,
thought.
I like that. So let's. Did you get that, Taylor?
I'm sorry, I
Just-
missed the first part. Are we moving it to the end of October or beginning of November?
Just more November.
Yeah.
Okay.
A chat. I
Yep.
think we'll meet in October. Get people in line. Hey, can we take October if you have the time?
Yeah.
Read it over.
Yeah.
Come to
exactly.
November with pros and cons if you can,
Yes.
and we'll kind of start the serious conversation on that. Because I know right now it's kind of, we're skirting above the top.
Mhm.
But, okay. Any other comments on that? Main Street? Active? No. All right. We have next. Alan, is there anything else that you would like to?
Are we at that point in the agenda? Did we do the 726?
Yeah, I mean,
That's what we were just.
it was kind of all
Just all
together.
discussion?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just, I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay, awesome.
So I'm not sure if everyone knows, but I attended the Oregon Main Street Network meeting in LeGrand, which if you don't know where LeGrand is, it's in the east part of the state. It's about an hour east of Pendleton.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can. Okay. See if that works. Okay. Oh, it's not great. There we go. Okay, great. So yeah, so it was July 20th and 21st was about a week and a half ago. Or almost 2 weeks ago. And it was really great. It was just those 2 days was like a full day and then a half day. Lots of presentations and updates from Sherry Stewart, who we were just talking about, who's the Oregon Main Street coordinator. And then there was presentations from managers from around the state. So yeah, just to give you kind of an overview of what was presented and talked about. There's some presentations on some software that would be helpful to Main Street managers and boards. One was Maestro, the community manager, and that's an organizational management software. And it was built specifically by an or by a Main Street manager for Main Street orgs. And it does things like manage contacts, businesses, properties, work plans, reporting, etc. We also looked at ChatGPT. I don't know if anyone has any experience with that. Yeah, but we were able to play around with the program, and the presenters showed some good ways for creating draft content for like mailers and promotions and handbooks and such.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It's too easy, right?
Mhm.
It was kind of amazing, but
Yeah.
I really stress the word draft because it
Mhm.
generates the stuff and then you have to go through and make sure that it's not only accurate, but then it's, in your voice and appropriate to whatever use you want to use it for. And then the last program was Canva, and I don't know if you are all familiar with that. It's really good for collaborative work, developing templates. And I actually have some personal experience with that. If anyone would like to talk to me about that, I could do that. Also, I'm happy to share out this presentation later. I have some links in there if you want to just go through and click around and check out some of these programs.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I also want to share some opportunities I became aware of. There's some historic preservation webinars, and they are found in the OMS Manager portal. I don't know if all of you have access to that or if that's just Hannah, but I just took some screenshots. That's basically like it's under recorded webinars and it's under the design. But they talked a bit about that at the meeting. And it's just some good resources to share out with property managers that are looking into historic preservation. And it's also just good for anyone on DEC that's interested in what goes into historic preservation. So. So just wanted to touch on the Board Institute 101 sessions that some of you attended. Just to give an update, they're available through November. Anyone is welcome, not just the DEC members. And they were stressing that it's not required right now, but it probably will be for board members at some point. It's just highly recommended at this point. So, and the links to the upcoming sessions will be shared as the dates get closer. I also wanted to bring everyone's attention to the mornings on Main meetings. And those are just, I think those happen just twice a month. And there are opportunities to check in with other Main Street members and share updates and whatnot. And I actually, Hannah and Connie should be getting those now. I think you were already on that mailing list.
yeah.
You might have already been getting those.
Yes.
And I could also send those links to any of the board members who would like to get calendar invites for those two. I could try to connect you with those. And then also wanted to bring to your attention, there's an Oregon Main Street Conference that's happening in early October in Independence, Oregon. That's just outside of Salem. There'll be a bunch of sessions on a variety of topics for people that are new to the program, as well as people who have a lot of experience with it. Keynotes, workshops, and time for networking. And again, if anyone would like to be sent the link, I can get that to you.
And the city would cover your registration for whoever is designated to attend.
Is that the same thing as for the awards? Or is this totally separate?
I don't know.
No,
Yeah, I'm not sure if they would
Okay.
be presenting the awards then or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
similar time frame, I think.
Okay. All right, and just finally, just some takeaways. So my main takeaway is it would be ideal if board members, if DEC members would go to these. I had a great time. It was great to meet everyone, but I really think that it's a much more valuable experience for y'all to go to these things. Just because of what was covered was, all the programs and the networking and all that. It was like, yeah, it's all stuff that you would be, the programs are things that you would be doing directly. It's not so much stuff that staff would be doing. And then the connections are, it's just valuable for you to bounce ideas off of other Main Street people for your, for that experience.
And I just want to apologize for not recognizing that fact. We didn't realize that, well, it's really, part of it's because, as Elena was talking about, it is unique. It's kind of odd for Estacada's Main Street program to be housed within the city and to be staffed by city staff instead of your own nonprofit organization staff. So usually one of your own members would be attending. Yeah, I don't know. So I just didn't realize, this is something that really, it's not the staff person that should be attending. It should be one of the committee members. So sorry, I'm still learning. But yeah, next time we'll make sure that gets sent out to you all so that you can decide which one or maybe multiple of you would want to attend that.
Yeah. Well, and I think things like this, thank you, Ellen, is just things that we need to be involved in. And
Yeah.
it's going to help us learn.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
So all
right
this-
here at our fingertips.
all the
and
talk
we're
about what Main
questioning.
Street can
Yeah.
provide, right? Yeah. So
Mhm.
opportunities like this just allow you to gain a deeper understanding and
Yeah.
more comprehensive understanding of what Main Street does.
Right.
And as Taylor mentioned, the city will reimburse for lodging, if it's an overnight thing, and for food, mileage, all that stuff. And again, I love going on trips. I don't mind. I don't mind reporting back to you, but yeah, I just think it would be a more valuable experience.
Yeah.
For you to do it.
Wonderful.
And that's all I had. Are there any questions?
Mm-mm. Nope.
So I do have a
Jerry?
question before we move on to the next thing. So I know it's at this point, the decision that was made today, this would be down the road, but what does the buildup of an economic development committee look like compared to what our DEC committee looks like?
That depends on the council's priorities for that Economic Development Commission. So if you wanted to dive into that conversation, how I would approach that is I would look at what other jurisdictions have done in building up their economic development commissions. I would ask for guidance from the Main Street Program and the Oregon Economic Development Association, maybe other related associations, on developing an economic development commission. Ultimately, though, that commission is going to be charged with, implementing or promoting, advancing the goals and objectives that the council sets for it. So that's sort of a non-answer to your question, because it really depends on whether the council has some specific goals for that commission when it establishes it, or is that commission intended to simply implement or advance whatever economic development related goals and policies the council happens to adopt. Is it implementing the comp plan ECDEV chapter? Does when the council establishes a commission, are there specific roles that are set for the different positions on that commission? That's pretty common for an economic development commission. You'll have, a representative from the industrial manufacturing sector, from the freight, so it really depends on the goals of establishing that commission.
And would it be, so when this committee gets to the point of self-sufficiency, would it be beneficial to the city to have both? This committee being a nonprofit and then an economic development commission, where they work together, would it be beneficial to the city at that point? Or is that something that's just like too far down the road to even talk about?
Yeah, hard to say. I can certainly see benefit to having both. I would also note though that your planning commission, in many ways, you can think of economic development as sort of being housed under your general planning for the livability and vitality of the city. And so that's also something you can look at using your planning commission for, appointing intentionally, maybe adding 2 extra seats to your planning commission that are specifically economic development focused, and kind of, charging that group with doing more of that work than they currently are. The planning commission currently, for a long time, has really just been there to help review and approve or deny land use applications. But most recently, they've been really proactive in, wanting to be more helpful in developing kind of long range planning objectives and stuff.
Okay.
Strategies. So that's another option. There are a lot of different options to consider, which is why it's a really huge conversation to maybe have. And we can support by, bringing kind of those supporting information and the different options, kind of helping lay out the different options, which are many. Yeah, good questions.
Real fast. Lonzo said earlier, gosh, I'm trying to remember. So being self-sustained under the Main Street program, or is Main Street program nonprofit? Or our goal
We'll
is
still
to be self-sustained without a budget from the city?
Yes.
Okay.
The Main Street, we would still be a nonprofit that way. With them, but under the city, they're helping us.
Yeah.
But if we're a nonprofit on our own, working with the Main Street, then
Then which is right. I'm just trying to get the verbiage, because we came over to Main Street. And then that's not getting, because I know this past year, it's been kind of the wedge of going off on our own, and then, but still getting or wanting a budget from the city. So I was just trying to get the verbiage right in my head. Okay. All right.
And another thing with the main street, it's about keeping things historical. Is that correct?
That is one
There's one
part of
thing-
it.
One part of it. Because one of the things that brought up was Figaro's wanted to do like a roll-up doors and everything. So I guess another thing to look at for Main Street is, do we want to keep this historical, or do we want to find other avenues that we can get grants for being able to do roll-up doors? Because I would love to have roll-up doors for time travelers.
Sure.
It would open everything up and be incredible, but we're limited with keeping it historical. So I guess that's another thing to look at for
Yeah.
sticking with Main Street too.
Yeah. And Taylor, I don't, you might have this information, or Alan, of what is historical.
Well, those
Because I
webinars,
know
that
a
I was just,
lot of buildings here are not.
yeah, I would encourage you to look at those, to check out those webinars that I was talking about, that are in the OMS manager portal.
And because for when we did paint, we had to have a certain type of paint on our building. Yes.
Yeah.
Only
code.
certain colors to preserve the historical look of the building.
And is that because of Main Street, or is that because of city policy?
The city's code for the downtown zone includes, downtown design standards
Mm.
and guidelines. So some of those standards are requirements, some of those standards are, part of a rubric where any new development or redevelopment has to score at least like 65% on the rubric in order to be
Mhm.
approved. Codes can always be updated. So if those are something that you would recommend the council change, that's
Mhm.
something you can recommend to the council.
Mhm.
The pre-approved paint palette is what you're talking about. It is really broad.
Mhm.
I mean, I would summarize it by just saying you can do it just excludes like bright, harsh colors, or perceived as harsh
Mhm.
colors. So you're not gonna be allowed to paint like fire
Very
truck
clear.
red or neon green,
Mhm.
right? But most
See
colors
hot
that
brush
people want to
colors.
paint, if it's close enough to one of the colors in that pre-approved palette,
Mhm.
we just ask you to identify what color does it match most closely, and then
Mhm.
we okay it.
Okay.
So it is pretty broad, but if there was a color in there that a business wanted to paint and you all agreed it looked good and the council wanted to expand that allowance, then that's totally within the council's purview to do.
Oh, it's the Main Street program.
The
Program.
Main Street
Yeah.
program does that.
So
And
like-
this with the grants and stuff, I know when I was going for the grants, a lot of it was they don't want you to change the building at all.
Mhm.
Even if it's not historic, they want you to
Yeah.
keep the same wood framed windows and
Yeah.
et cetera.
You were having that, not issues, but.
Yeah,
you have to
but
go
just-
through those
yeah.
hoops.
So they
Yeah.
like to preserve.
And can we get access to that portal to look at the historic stuff, Alan?
I'm sure I can send you a link.
That
Um,
would be great, because I would like to look at
There's a
what
lot of
they
information, yeah.
I'm actually
consider-
wondering, I
Yeah.
don't know now. I think you might need to sign in for that. Yeah, I think you might need to sign in, but I mean, we can work it out, and
Okay.
we'll find a way to make that available to you if you do want to watch or look
Yeah,
through those
I
webinars.
would like to kind
Great.
of just do
Then I
some,
will make a note to do that.
do a little research just to see what they consider what.
Okay.
Mhm.
It might be worth,
They might even
Just-
have some links on their website too, though, right? I mean, no,
I imagine that they have a
There's-
lot of,
I
yeah,
think there's so much
there's a lot of
information.
other
Yeah.
materials as well. But yeah, the
Sorry,
webinars
Taylor.
are a specific part of that, but what were you saying, Taylor?
it might be
Sorry.
worth finding out if you have to be like, if it really matters whether you are the chair or the designated Main Street Program Manager. Like if all of the commission members could have access to that portal, that would be nice for
Yeah.
you all to,
Yeah.
you're all the ones doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can figure that out, and then I'll share out not only the presentation, but then I'll some information about how to log in if you need to log in and
Do we have a designated Main Street manager?
Well, that's usually the nonprofit's staff person, and so that's why it, like we city staff have been the ones signed up in that system, but a lot of those messages, like the network meeting notification and stuff, should be getting to you all. So I'm hoping they'll be okay with just letting you.
That might be something you guys want to consider for that next meeting when you talk about it is maybe designating one of you as the point person, as the, Main Street manager.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
oh, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
you.
You're very welcome.
All right, so D, Excellence on Main Street Awards. I wasn't really sure, are we,
Just
that's
included this.
passed.
It
What-
is passed, and we
Yeah.
just, I think, wanted to find out, did anyone submit nominations or
Okay.
want to recap
Mhm.
any of that at all?
I think Connie.
I think she did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's good at that.
Yeah, I think
I don't know anything
Yeah,
about it.
We'll see. And we'll see what happens. I
Mhm.
think November, or October, November, somewhere around there. All right. Okay, so moving on. Wow, that was a lot. Thanks, guys. Oktoberfest committees. Do you guys want to have any updates? Or, because it's you, Connie and Lonzo, right?
And Juan.
Okay, and one. Sorry.
Well, we only have 3 of us at a time.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
For the record.
Juan, you have anything? I mean, we've got things pretty much, I think we did a walkthrough.
Mhm.
Lonzo's taking care of beer garden
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Juan's taking care of food trucks stuff.
Mhm.
You're taking care of kids
Kids
stuff.
activities.
I'm working on trying to get T-shirts
Yeah,
designed.
cool.
Juan,
For food trucks, we had 3 so far.
okay.
Awesome.
So it's gonna be Christie's,
Mhm.
Callan's Dogs, and barbecue.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
So
cool.
the
Nice.
barbecue car is the more bigger and the long
Mhm.
car than anybody else.
Mhm.
So remember, guys, we talked about 2 cars in front
Mhm.
and 2 in the back.
Mhm.
Instead of the 2 in the back, that can be the barbecue car in the back because it's long
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's the only spot we really have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's the only ones we cannot have it. You
Mhm.
know, the Christie's is gonna do. Let me see. Oh, the Cat Candy, I already contact them too. It's confirmed. It's gonna be confirmed.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Mm.
The funnel cakes.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be the Christie's.
Okay.
What I really had problems is with the elephant.
Elephant ears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they gonna do elephant ears?
Mm-mm.
Juan,
We have problems with that one so bad.
Mhm.
I cannot find anyone to come in and do it.
killing me.
We have a big farmer. We can do.
We can do elephant
Yeah.
ears?
We can do.
It's the only problem I already
Oh.
have.
What's the
Okay.
difference, sorry, between an elephant ear and a funnel cake?
Funnel cake has holes.
Yeah.
Is that all? Okay.
Funnel cakes are sweet
I think
too.
it's a little different
Right?
dough. I really
Yeah.
do. But I
Okay.
mean, like elephant ears is like a dough that you kind of stretch and
Pull
you,
apart.
yeah,
Butter.
Okay.
whereas a
Mhm.
funnel cake is like,
Piped.
yeah, it's piped into like a fryer, so it's lighter and fluffier.
More like a donut type of.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, kinda.
kinda, it's
holy
kind of like a.
dough.
But it's
like a
It's been so
waffle
long.
Wow,
consistency,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's all swirly and then you can add cinnamon sugar or powdered sugar and
The problem
fruit and,
The problem is we cannot have people working outside with frying.
yes,
It has
right,
to be
Oh,
in a food truck or inside something.
yeah.
Mhm.
This is the big problem we have. So a lot of food trucks, including myself, when we have an event or we do events, we don't work with fryer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything we have to be by fryer, we do before,
Mhm.
and that way we can move the trucks. And because some fryers have electricity and some fryers is propane.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for them to move the fryers back and forth. Some,
Mhm.
Mhm.
like me, it's electric. I don't use electric because it's used too much. And sometimes the power is not enough for that
Mm.
because we have everything runs.
Okay.
I wonder how they did the funnel cakes and, or the elephant ears at the Timber Festival back, you know, when we
Mhm.
had the Timber Festival, because that was all outside.
Yeah.
They weren't enclosed.
Yeah.
They were outside in a booth. So I wonder
That'll
how,
work. I mean, that work that way here because I don't know.
yeah,
if
at the
the
Timber,
city allow.
Yeah.
at the Timber Festival, it was allowed, but that's not, you
Mm.
know, city,
Uh-huh.
city
The
limits.
city
So,
limit.
yeah.
So it's another thing that we had to dig it. And the city allowed to do that kind of things outside, you know what I mean?
So is
Oh,
the
is it-
issue?
City
For the
policy?
fryers. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It might be fire district policy.
I'll talk to Sarah.
Yeah,
I'll talk to Sarah.
I mean,
Ooh.
for safety, like,
Sarah Poe-
for everyone's safety, definitely keep Sarah informed
Yes.
and get her
We're
input
like
on it,
this.
so.
We're best friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And one more thing I have is,
Excited.
I had two questions.
Mm.
How you,
Viola Orchards.
So Brian Howard from Viola Orchards.
yes.
Mhm.
They have, business
Mhm.
and I see them yesterday. I have an event in Viola School. That was wonderful. Thanks God. And I was participating as people there too as well.
Mhm.
And they was asking if they like to be participant in Oktoberfest as well. We have, I think so far as you,
Mhm.
and we have a Stone Circle Cider,
Stone Circle
correct?
cider, yes.
And they want to be there too as well.
Wednesday.
Would they like to be there?
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I think having local
It's local.
businesses that have a product,
Mhm.
I think it's great to have. Yeah, for sure. If they have enough cider,
Mhm.
then that's awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I can contact them and tell
Yeah,
them
have
yes.
them email me
Mhm.
and yeah, we'll get them in for sure.
Perfect. And one more thing. We was talking about you have lining everything about the big garden.
Mhm.
It's a good idea. I understand that, but the point is to where we can visit the people who's buy food from outside of you.
Yeah, in the street.
We're gonna
But
have
they
tables
can't,
in the
but they
street
can't take their alcohol out of the beer garden.
Yeah.
So that's,
because you
that's
guys
the
wanna
issue.
court everything around you guys.
we have to.
We have to.
legally.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
But
for beer.
Where
if-
people buy food,
Mhm.
Yeah,
they cannot go inside you guys and eat it there.
if they have food, then they can come inside the beer garden. Well, I don't.
No, but
understand.
you guys, that's gonna be, what I hear so far, you guys gonna be request for 21-year-old, no less, get inside.
Yeah.
What
they have to
about
be
as
21.
teenagers and kids? Where we gonna be sit them?
I think
know what I
that
mean?
there's gonna have, I think that's like a Connie question on where she was gonna put tables and things, because I
Yeah.
think that everybody, from what I understood on the walk, that anyone that wasn't 21, I mean, because obviously if you're 21 and you have your bracelet and you want to go in and get beer and you have something from like your food truck, they can come in and sit down. Absolutely. But the teenagers and things, they just can't come in there.
They
So
can't come
that,
into the beer garden.
No, I understand that. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Where we gonna be sit them?
I
In
think
the
that-
past, there's been tables
Yeah.
set up in the,
Yeah.
for like the wine,
yeah,
Uncorked.
uncorked.
on court.
Yeah.
They had tables set up in the street.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that. So there will be.
But that's
So we
something that we
need
could ask
talk to
Connie
Connie.
about.
Yeah.
Definitely,
knows.
maybe email her.
It's another question that's.
Got any other burner questions for me?
No,
There? Holy
mean,
moly.
no, I mean, I understand you
I
guys.
feel like
wanna-
you're like just coming at me
No,
here.
it's not coming at you.
Yeah.
It's the real.
Where are the people gonna sit with?
No,
only in the
where
beer
we cannot
garden?
be said it, the people who's buying food from outside, because you wanna sell food, but you wanna sell it yourself. I mean, you wanna sell everything for you. Let's be honest.
In the beer
It's
garden.
not about that. It's about everybody participated and everybody can come in with something. I try coming with something ideas. It's not, nobody's
Do you
attacking
want your
you.
food in the beer
I'm not
garden?
attacking
Is
you
that
at
what
all.
it is?
Just let you know, I'm not attacking you.
Well, that's what it really feels like right
No,
now.
I'm not.
So I think
attacking
we all agree there needs to be tables and
Table.
chairs inside the beer garden and outside the beer
Yes.
garden. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Connie, we did get together last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and there was concern for tables. So, and she's like, well, people can sit on the curb, okay.
Yeah.
But she knows that tables need to come and,
Don't take it personal, just to you. It's no personal. It's
Uh-huh.
business.
Okay,
This is business.
yeah.
So back to
Sounds
the
like-
ears real fast. I don't want to make it about the ears. But was there an issue finding somebody to do the ears or a company or
Do the what?
to
The
do the
elephant
elephant
ears.
ears? Was it just finding
It's
somebody to do
hard
that?
Find somebody
Okay.
to do that.
Okay, just availability maybe, because I know I've seen that truck around.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know who it's
I
at.
have an
Hemp Hill
extra
Farms.
fryer. If a food truck would like to borrow it, that's electric, they can use it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like if you talk to Sarah though, to find out if somebody could be outside, because we have the electricity.
Yes.
If somebody could be outside, then that would fix the problem and they
Mhm.
could borrow a fryer if they needed to.
Yes.
I don't know any of those rules.
Yeah.
So
So-
just, just so everybody
if we
knows,
don't-
they're working on the cameras on the building, so the thumping that you hear, the building's not coming down. We're good.
And then the cider. If you like wine Wednesday or what do I
Wednesday's
I always
wine.
call it that?
They want to be a huge part. of
And
it
so
also.
where is all that going? Does that have to be, do they have to sell that in the beer garden?
Yeah,
Okay, and then like
All
the new
alcohol.
Viola or Viola,
they'll have to
like
be
they
in the
have to
wine garden
be,
too.
and they just set up
And-
like
And the
tables
thought
stuff?
is, from what I understand, I don't want to
Mhm.
overstep, but from what I understand is everybody, it's cash only to get in.
Mhm.
You'll get your bracelet and then it'll be cash only inside and you'll just go to your particular booth that you want. I want Viola's cider.
Mm,
I'll go pay them directly.
Mhm.
So it's directly there.
mhm.
They take care of their money. They take care of serving their
Right.
drink. Stone Circle, same thing,
Mhm.
us, same thing. And then Wednesday's wine bar will have their local wine.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
you
there
go to
any
whatever.
wineries that are local that might want to join this too? That we have in the beer garden? Like Boring Wine or Colton
That's-
Wine?
That's, that we looked
Or-
into that when we were trying to get local. We tried to find as many close wineries. There's not a ton of close, Boring
Mhm.
and Colton, and we could reach out to see if they
Yeah.
want to come serve their wine there, but
Yeah, I have their information and I'll talk to them too. And that way we can have local wineries
and
at
then
the
Mhm.
place also.
Russo's too,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if they want to be
for
part of
sure.
it. But they'll just go individually to their individual
Sure,
and everybody takes care of their own
Yeah.
cash, so.
Yeah, it's
there's
great.
not-
yeah,
Yeah.
you're not buying bulk or.
But we took care of the
Mm.
permit,
yes,
so,
yes, we
It's
did.
gonna be great.
yes, very, very exciting.
All right. Well, cool. I think it's all coming along. Yeah,
And is
kids
this, I'm
activities.
sorry.
Yep.
Is this scheduled for September 16th or 23rd?
23rd.
23rd, okay,
Mhm.
thanks.
Same day as the Dylan, or not Dylan, the Best Dam Run.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, that should
Think.
get people here too.
I can double check.
okay,
So I guess don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I checked. So that would be cool.
yeah,
People running and then they come.
come grab an elephant ear while they're running.
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, no, don't say that. We might not have those.
Okay,
I
fine.
don't want to make it about the elephant ears. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we'll move on unless anybody has any other comments.
Oh, the piñatas, I come and pick them out today too as well.
Pinatas?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have 4. So I
Good.
think we're gonna be good to you.
Is that like a kid's activity?
I-
Or,
Yeah.
For everyone.
They were talking about
Okay.
kids' activity and then we were talking about, and I don't know if anybody's reached out to anybody, but any local business that wanted to put anything like little toys or anything in there, that they totally could do that.
right,
If
marketing
even,
stuff,
yeah, if-
coins or whatever.
yeah, whatever they
Yeah,
wanted to
trinkets.
put in there.
Mhm.
With,
So-
with their logo or without the logo, doesn't
Mhm,
matter,
mhm.
just they could give them to whoever,
Mhm.
you maybe because your kids
Mhm.
or Juan because he has, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was the thought.
So something that I recommended to the Arts Commission. So when you guys are looking for volunteers, there's a lot of new Estacada community members that really do want to get involved. So one suggestion that I made to them is maybe when you're looking for volunteers, go to the local HOA meetings. Just to get the
Yeah.
word out that, hey,
Okay.
this is who we are. This is, we're looking for volunteers for this stuff. So that's a recommendation I made to the Arts Commission, and I just wanted to make the same recommendation to you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
HOA. Homeowners Association.
Okay. Cool. All right. So next we have social media. So for me personally, so posting, I'm gonna do some just updates for Oktoberfest. That's kind of our focus right now. And then I'm gonna post a picture of the mural that they were redoing. I don't know if anybody got to see that, but it's kind of hidden away. It looks really pretty. So I'm gonna do an update on that. Oktoberfest. And that's about it. As for the e-newsletter and newspaper, I don't know if somebody wants to try and take that on or free, because it's definitely just hard to, nobody's been doing it for
might be
a month or two.
That might be a
Um,
chat GPT.
I know,
thing.
that's a cool thing. Yeah, good thinking. And just coming up with, because I know Bennett took that on and she was really good at it and she's a really good writer.
Mhm.
And it's only been a month or two, so it's not, it's fine. But just something to think about.
Okay.
Yeah. Just thinking about what to put in the newspaper and to kind of try and keep that going so it doesn't fizz out. Yeah. Anybody, anything else that you think we need to post about other than Oktoberfest? I mean, we need volunteers. We'll post about what we're having, what we're doing, because it's
That's pretty
a
much.
couple months away.
Oh, the Boba Elastic
Mhm.
is gonna be participating too as well. Sorry, I forgot about that. They're gonna be booth for them.
A booth?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
It's gonna be selling boba in the street
Awesome.
too as well.
Oh,
Nice.
perfect.
So we let's put them in the list as well.
Awesome. Great. Anything else?
For the newspaper
Mhm.
and e-newsletter.
Yeah.
If you want to just send in whatever content. Oh, my computer shut off. Fun. You know, we could basically just duplicate and kind of flesh out
Mhm.
whatever content is going in the social media posts.
Sure.
So
Okay.
obviously you'll want to put out information about Oktoberfest. We can help get that put out in
Okay.
a newsletter.
That'd be great.
And then, yeah, any other information, we can help. We have some good writers up here. So
Mhm.
even if you aren't a great writer, if there's something that, you know, you just want to give us bullet points
Sure.
of like, this is the information we want in
Mhm.
there, we can flesh it out for you.
Mhm.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, because I think the newspaper, because they all coincided, were cohesive. But the newspaper e-newsletter, I think it was just once a month. I think
Mhm.
she usually did.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was, yeah,
whenever,
usually once a month. And then if
and
there
if they would
was
even take it, because sometimes they don't
Right.
take the article.
the
or-
newspaper,
Yeah.
right,
or,
that's-
you know, it's just up to them.
that's on them.
Yeah.
But the e-newsletter, we
That's easy.
control. So,
Yeah. And that's
anything you
really
want
pretty.
to put out on that, we can
Okay.
do.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Using your guns.
Discussed it. You already?
Yeah.
And we kind of went, yeah. Ready for public comment?
The financial statement tracking the budget expenses.
Mhm.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, we have,
That doesn't make me feel good at all.
I know, at the very end. We have our budget.
Negative $11,000.
So I'll give you guys a little context
wanna-
on this agenda item.
Okay. Thanks.
As some of you know, really the past like 2 years have been a lot of transition. For a long time, the DEC was staffed by our former economic development manager, Matt Lorenzen, who's now with the city of Wilsonville.
Yeah.
When he left, we hired Elena, who staffed the commission for about a year, and now she has moved into the assistant city manager position. And so the commission came into our department. we had a community development coordinator, Mara, on board for about a year, who was staffing on and off.
See you, Julie.
And then she's no longer with the city. And so I've decided I'm gonna get this stuff under my belt, just to make sure that, yeah. So I consulted with Elena, on, what are all the things? I just want to make sure if I'm staffing this commission or whoever ends up staffing it after me, I want to make sure that we're making sure that you all have everything on your agendas that you need to, and that we're doing a good job of supporting you and keeping you organized and on track. So I asked for a list of what are some recurring agenda items that should be, that you guys should be considering either at every meeting or at least regularly. And so this is one thing that
Budget.
Elena brought up. Oh, they're
Mhm.
supposed to be tracking their expenses. So
Yeah.
that is why this is now on your agenda. We can keep it on there either quarterly or on every meeting, whatever you want, but it is something that you're supposed to be looking at, obviously, and just keeping track of what you're spending and what you have left.
Mhm.
So it's on the agenda, but there's no specific like task or requirement attached to that. You don't have to go through and track this closely in this
Mhm.
meeting.
Right.
But just want to get it kind of on your radar,
Mhm.
keep it on the horizon. If it's something that you want to task a subcommittee or a specific person with tracking, I think that
Yeah.
could make sense. Totally up to you.
Mhm.
And Julie has her hand
Yeah,
raised. Julie,
that's-
did you need to say something?
I do, and I have to leave the meeting to take my daughter to work, so I just wanted to let you know that before just leaving.
All right.
So I didn't know if there was anything else that needed to be voted on, or
No, Can we, okay, can we pause real fast and maybe talk about our September 4th meeting real fast? Julie, so we have, it's the Labor Day weekend. Wait, is this on? So it would be, our meeting would be on the 4th, that Monday, Labor Day. I'm assuming we don't want to do that.
We are not, City
All
Hall's
right.
not open
Oh,
on the
yeah,
4th,
duh.
so we need to
Obviously.
reschedule.
So yeah, reschedule. So do we want to keep it a Monday? The following Monday, the 11th?
So yeah, the following 2 weeks wouldn't work on. Is it just on the Mondays or is it just the whole weeks?
We would have to dig into those weeks. The whole weeks are bad. The weeks of the 11th and the 18th are
Okay.
bad for staff.
Okay.
Some commissions run their own meetings. We could brief you on how to do that, but it would be cleanest if it's possible to do a different day of the week,
Okay.
on the week of the 4th,
Mm-hmm.
or we could more easily do the week of the 25th, which I know is pushing it quite a bit.
Sure. Right,
I'm free any day.
because that's right after, yeah.
Do we need to do anything before Oktoberfest, before Oktoberfest though?
Yeah,
That's the
the
question.
23rd.
For a meeting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
can
Probably
we
not.
do September 5th?
I can do the 5th.
I can do I can do anything, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th.
Yeah, let's try for Tuesday, the
Wow.
5th.
Tuesday, September 5th, 9 a.m.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
I
perfect.
will not be able to attend that meeting.
Can we still have a meeting without you?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Not that we want to. Okay. All right, let's just do that because it might be a shorter one, just because
Mhm.
Oktoberfest and.
Yeah.
But we'll shoot for that. Okay. Okay, thank you, Julie.
Great, thank you. You
Have a
guys
great
good
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And since Julie, you need to wrap it up soon too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the budget? Is there any comments about this right now? Do we want to?
Well, I mean, the
Let
big
it-
one that sticks out to me is Oktoberfest.
Talk about it.
$7,500 that we're gonna pay. and then we're only gonna make 2,500?
Mhm. Yeah, this was very vague. 'Cause We had no idea.
Okay,
We were putting in numbers.
just ballparking.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were trying to make it to whatever,
So
10.
I don't think that I've looked at anything on what we're paying for Oktoberfest. Like, are we paying for permits? Or like what money is going out towards Oktoberfest from us?
Well, I know there's the porta potty.
Porta
there's-
potties, and
Porta
that's
potties,
There's like rental of,
tents,
yeah,
The sanity.
signs.
yeah,
Mhm.
The bands.
t-shirts, bands.
Mm-hmm.
Piñata.
Yeah,
Pinata.
pretty much
Yeah.
anything that we need for the event is, I think, what our costs are. The big
Okay.
ones are gonna be obviously like the tents, the tables, the chairs, the,
Bathroom.
and the porta
Yeah.
potties, yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's, and then signage,
Small things, small activity stuff. but-
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I from talking.
And we're
to-
thinking it's gonna be around 75.
I think that they just threw out.
That
ballpark
was
numbers
to make
from-
the total
Yeah.
around 10 grand, I think,
Yeah,
when we were doing our budget.
Okay.
But I think I like what Taylor said, to have maybe somebody in charge of it,
Mhm.
one person. I don't know if we have to decide that today, or what word did you use?
Sorry?
What word did you use? Just somebody in charge of the budget.
Like a subcommittee
Or
or something.
not-
Yeah, either a
committee.
subcommittee or, I don't know, designee. I don't remember.
I don't-
I don't
okay.
remember what I said.
Manager.
It was a long time ago.
Main
Yeah,
Street
okay.
manager.
So do we want to talk about this at our next meeting? And see if we can come up with somebody?
Yeah.
Maybe to,
Well, maybe Connie will be back
Yeah.
too, and yeah. I just think, because she may have a great idea
Mhm.
on it, because she's on a lot of committees too.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
true. So September 5th. Is that okay? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have considered it, but it's probably gonna be somewhere in the mid-70s that day,
Mhm.
hopefully. Maybe misters or something, some kind of a cooling, some area for cooling, you know, for,
Okay.
because it's gonna be
A water
hopefully,
station or.
hopefully a nice
something.
hot day, a
Hmm.
nice warm, good weather day.
Mhm.
But just, some kind of a, maybe a booth with misters going
Mhm.
around the top, something,
Mhm.
Okay.
keep in mind.
I can see how many tables I have for the beer garden,
Mhm.
and that way nobody has to pay money for tables.
Yeah.
In there, I don't know if any other businesses wants to put out more tables along the sidewalks or anything. That way it could help with
Right.
that.
And I don't
Yeah,
know,
bring them out.
Connie said that there's access to city something, something.
City tables.
Yeah,
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what all is in storage, but
Mhm.
she's like, there's a few of this and a few of
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we changed that. Strategic plan. I don't think we're gonna talk about that today. Can we just move the strategic plan to another time? Is that fine?
Are we under the next meeting?
Yeah, I'm kind of bundling that and then we'll go back up to public comment.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't want to put the strategic plan discussion on your next meeting? Push it, is that what I'm hearing?
Probably November,
Push it till
yeah.
November, okay.
post Oktoberfest.
Yep, okay.
And while we start strategic plan, budget,
Mhm.
Main Street.
Yep.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if there's no more comments from us,
Mhm.
1, 3,
No.
we'll go to public comment. All right, Jordan. Thanks. Thanks for being patient.
Testing.
So I don't think I know everyone here. So my name is Jordan Winthrop. I've been involved in the Main Street program with Estacada since its inception. I was one of the founding members of the Main Street program in Estacada. And even before that, I was on the Estacada Development Association. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm a resource that's available that knows a lot of the past history. And I'm also involved in a lot of different committees and things where I can help connect the dots together. I own a company that does consulting for Main Streets. We just did the Illinois Valley down in Southern Oregon, Pendleton's Main Street program. Just yesterday, I was up in Langley, Washington, doing one of their town art tours. So I do a lot of different things with Main Street programs in my own company and consulting. And then I also am really passionate about keeping a Main Street program in Estacada since of all the hard work that it took to bring it here in the first place.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys kind of are on the right track. Not listening to one person's opinion, especially when that person's tried to shut down every single thing in Estacada that's ever happened good.
Who are you talking about?
But yeah, I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce. They're directly after the Chamber of Commerce got this person in there, and there was no need for a Chamber of Commerce in Estacada anymore, according to the person. So we definitely don't want to listen to someone who wants to shut things down. And even previously in the state tourism, they were involved in the state tourism or the Tourism Development Commission for Clackamas County, and they were the only vote not to give Estacada money. Every single time we would approach Clackamas County for money, they would vote against Estacada, yet they still wanted to be in charge of everything. So I applaud you for not listening to that. But also with the grants, Estacada has got lots of grants throughout history with the Main Street program. One of them is my building, which is right across the street from Time Travelers Brewing. I got an awning put on my building with a grant. Like the Fearless building got a projecting sign. A lot of the different buildings got signage that projects out, so you can see it when you're looking down the sidewalk instead of on the face. We did a lot of different little projects throughout the years, and then addition to the actual Broadway street here, that whole project was helped created and started by the Main Street program. So when I heard you guys talk about the $200,000 for the Mossy Rock. That year, there was only $2 million in grants available for the Main Street program. Last year, they upped it to $5 million. So they had $5 million to give out. And some of the things were like $200,000 to fix the Albany Downtown Theater's roof. Baker City got $200,000 to create a first floor bar space. City of Cornelius got $200,000 to build a new building to support rehabilitation and access of historic buildings. So there's a lot of different money out there. And Tina Kotek just announced that she's giving $10 million this year to Main Street programs. So it's went from 2 million to 5 million. Now it's up to $10 million to apply for these grants. So I would definitely say that that's going to be the best bang for your buck in being a Main Street program, is going after these grants, because they're out there and there's not enough organizations who are actually applying to use all of the money. So there's only 90 Main Street organizations in Oregon right now. And the Main Street program is actually a division of the State Park and Recs Association. So Oregon State Parks runs the Main Street program, and it's actually under their historic preservation committee or council. So the Main Street program is actually all about historic preservation. That's what Oregon agency runs it. So preserving the historic aspect of Estacada is really what a Main Street program is, and trying to promote downtown historic buildings. When I was doing my building with a grant, I ran into the paint problem as well. I actually took apart an old barn on my property and put all the old barnwood on the top, and they're like, that's not an approved paint color. But I was like, it's not a paint. So I got around it and was able to keep the barnwood on my building. But there's definitely a lot of benefits of being a Main Street program, especially with the connections between other Main Street programs. Like Alan said, there's a lot of different resources out there, and with only a handful of people in this room, you can rely on people all over the state. Everyone's trying to do new things, making successes, failing at things, just trying to see what is working and what's not. I actually created software for our Estacada Development Association when it was first in like when we first started the Estacada Development Association into a Main Street. I created software that made us a website. It helped with creating flyers for downtown buildings that were for sale. We did public art tours. There was a lot of things that we did when we were a nonprofit that when the commission took over, they didn't want to continue pretty much anything. So the city decided that they'll step back. So I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce at that time. We had a part-time staff person. We realized that the Main Street program needed a part-time staff person. So we shared. So one person became part-time chamber, part-time Main Street. And that's how we were able to start by sharing a staff person with the Chamber of Commerce. And it worked well because there was that overlap of, oh, you're not a chamber member. Well, are you a downtown business? So you could have one person that kind of knew everything, whether you're a chamber member or you're located in downtown. So I really liked that format and how we were a nonprofit. It definitely made it so there weren't as many rules and regulations that we had to follow. We could promote specific businesses. We did things called cash mobs, where in the morning we'd text out the name of a business and everyone had to go to that business, and the first 20 people there got prizes and things like that. So when we were a downtown nonprofit, we were allowed to do a lot more, and it was a lot speedier because we could actually make a decision and just do it. And it wasn't through a bunch of different commissions and committees that all had to agree, and then budgets that had to be set years in advance. So
Excuse me just a second, Jordan.
Yeah.
Speaking of being a city government entity, you need to adjourn the meeting because you don't have a quorum.
oh,
To the left.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
All right.
But we
Can
can
he
still,
still
you guys
listen?
can still talk. Yes, absolutely.
I was
But
thinking the same
meeting
thing.
Does need to be.
Okay.
adjourned.
Yeah.
All right.
Adjourn it, and we can keep recording. I mean, if you don't mind, we'll just keep recordings.
Yeah,
for
because I
the
don't want to stop
information. Yeah,
talking.
okay.
All right, meeting adjourned. It's 10:28 a.m.
Okay.
Sorry, Jordan.
Carrie.
All right.
Great information, by
Thank
the
you,
way.
Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah. So
So
just
stop.
there's a lot of history. I'm also the president of Estacada Area Community Events. So we are the nonprofit that puts on the Timber Festival. We did the fireworks show this year along with the fire department, and we actually own a lot of tents, a lot of tables, and a lot of chairs. And one of our goals is to give them out for free to events. I mean, that's what we provided to the Uncorked and everything. And actually we have a whole semi truck over there sitting in the fire department parking lot over there in the grass. And that whole entire semi truck is full of tables, chairs, electrical infrastructure, everything you can need, sound systems. I mean, everything to run events is there. In that truck, just sitting right over there that I can, yep, I can see it. So, and that's, I mean, we got a grant to get all of that equipment, and we have helped events all over Estacada with all of that infrastructure. So I'm here talking to people. I also own a technology company, like I said. So I create websites, I create town tours of art and public art. We just did the Pendleton Bronze Tour, where we created QR codes that are actually in bronze on the statues and the murals. People get points for traveling around Pendleton and getting awarded. And when they get enough awards, they get trinkets that create a charm bracelet that shows that they've been to Pendleton. There's a lot of really cool things that can be done in downtowns to promote tourism in downtown, which is definitely part of economic development, is bringing in tourism. So I'm also on the Oregon State Tour and Travel Alliance. So I'm the marketing lead for the Oregon State Tourism and Travel Alliance. We promote package travel. Our big seminar is October 3rd and 4th in Pendleton. I'm speaking there about how to promote downtowns through Passportage is the name of my software that does town tours. And then I also write articles for the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association on how restaurants should be formed for main streets, and also restaurant technology. So there's just a lot of different things that I can help with if you guys ever need it or come to me. So my company created the software passportage.com. We created Tick Simple. We do event ticketing for almost every event in Sandy. We do every event in Pendleton, including the colleges, the schools. We used to do all the events in Estacada, but now we do 0. I also own Diner Dashboard. We do restaurant development. I create POS systems, online ordering, and Dickie's Barbecue is one of my biggest customers. They're all over the world, but there's just a lot of resources in this town if you look internal. And I don't want to see things that have been done in the past kind of get replaced with new things when there's a lot of benefits of trying to do things year after year. So like the first year of a new event is definitely going to be hard, but then once you get to your 3rd year, it's way easier. Everyone knows that it's happening. So just continuing on with these sort of events and trying to create consistency is what really, really matters. So I really like the fact that you guys are bringing events back to Estacada, and I really hope that it succeeds. And if you guys need any help, I'm available. I have a company that does event planning. Where the Rose Festival hired us to do their tour for what is it, scavenger hunt, the Rose scavenger hunt for the Rose Festival. So many different things that can happen in Estacada. And it's just all about connecting the dots, getting everyone together. And one of the things that we did to get everyone together was the Estacada Park and Recs, the Downtown Commission, the Chamber, state parks all had that bicycle kiosk created that's out there. So that bicycle kiosk has a smart map on it. We were the very first smart map in the United States where you just tap it with your phone and it automatically tells you what those areas are on the map. So like if you wanted to go up to a hiking trail and you see that hiking trail on the map, you just tap it with your phone and it brings the PDF of that hiking trail and saves it onto your phone. So there's just things like that that could be really promoted more once they exist. And like you guys had said, once the pandemic kind of came and everyone was kind of trapped in their houses, and then everyone came out, and it's like you kind of forgot what happened beforehand, and everything kind of started getting recreated, and like how do we create these things even though they kind of were there before. So but yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to just introduce myself, let you know who I am. I know a couple of you, but not many people know how many different things they might know. Yeah, I used to be the chamber president, or you're the president of the Timber Festival, things like that. But there's a lot more to it in my business that I help towns and consult people all over for this sort of stuff. So speaking of Timber Festival, we are bringing it back in 2024. We were trying this year. It was very, very difficult this year with logistics of a few different things, but we need help. So making the Timber Festival promote this town, I think, is something that we can all get together and do. And you guys are promoting heritage. So the Timber Festival is a heritage event for our city. And like I heard here, unfortunately, it is in the Timber Park, which there is like a 10 by 10 square foot square in the Timber Park that's inside city limits, but the rest of it is not. So yeah, so if we could bring downtown events in the Timber Festival, I think we could work together to create a multi-location event where there's people roaming the towns, maybe going up to Promontory for log rolling in the pond, just have a pond down there, going down there for certain things, coming down here for like an art festival or chainsaw carvings, things like that. So I have a lot of goals to kind of combine efforts. So you guys aren't doing something, the chamber isn't doing something, let's all get together and all make something huge that really promotes and brings people from all over the world. So speaking of all over the world, so have you guys heard of geocaching? Okay, so geocaching, that started in Estacada. The very first one ever in the world was in Estacada. So people come from to Estacada from all over the world. If you go ask Mossy Rock, they say people would come all from Germany, from Sweden, from Australia. They were getting people every day from different countries coming to Estacada because we are the very first geocache in the world, and they're all over. So in Europe, geocaching is huge. People travel just because of geocaching, and we are the first one. So there's so many things we could take advantage of here without a lot of effort. And that's kind of what I like to do. I mean, I'm really busy, I'm really spread out. So I always am like, how can I do this with the least amount of effort? And usually it's designing software, but there's a lot of other ways. So I just want you guys all to kind of realize there's people in the town that might be good to like get a hold of and things. And I left the commission in the beginning because of conflict of interest, because I was told we can't hire you because you're part of it. So once I stepped down, I did not get hired to do anything after that. So it kind of made me step down for no reason. So I've always wanted to be on the Main Street program and help you guys out. It's just whether it's on a commission or actually being hired to do some of the work. So either one of those, I mean, if I could do one or the other, it would be great. So that's about it. So I might feel like going on your guys' commission after hearing this meeting, but I am kind of busy already with other stuff. But I really am passionate about the Main Street program in Estacada. So that's about it.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you,
George.
Jordan.
Great information, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, thanks for being here and waiting, and we appreciate you. Did you were,
Oh, no, I was gonna ask,
Gonna-
do we need to change the code so that we can, reach out or like help with outside of downtown?
My computer died. Can you pull up the code? It's like Title II.
but I like that
Chapter-
idea of
that?
combining it all.
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh my gosh. Didn't
And
realize.
I think that, yes, if I remember correctly, the code specifies that this commission focuses on or works within the established downtown zone boundary or something like that. Is internet slow? So if that's true, which I think it is, then yes, it would be a code amendment. And that's easy enough to do, easy enough for us staff to draft up what that text amendment would look like. It would be a city council decision, and I would want to make sure, I would recommend that the council make sure to kind of specify the parameters of that change of scope, like how, if, I don't know if it would be like, this commission focuses 30% on this
Mhm.
geographic area and 70% on, I don't know if it
Mm.
would need to be that mathematically specific, but there would need to be some definition in there of how much of your focus is on the downtown versus it could be the entire city, right?
Mm.
Yeah, just to read that subject section, it's E under 2.32010 that establishes the purpose of the DEC, and it says to make recommendations to the city council concerning rules and policies affecting downtown Estacada. It's pretty well prescribed. Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, I guess there's that. I'm gonna have to. I would like to look a little bit more into this because maybe there's already enough flexible. Oh, no, up here, geographic area 2.32.005 geographic area of responsibility. Downtown Estacada shall be defined by the boundaries of the downtown zone as defined by the zoning map. So yeah, that would need to be updated. Yeah, so I guess we're not in the meeting right now, but we can recommend an agenda item for your upcoming meeting or for the meeting app. Maybe you want to wait till post Oktoberfest to visit making that code amendment. Okay.
And do you have a comment? No, her right here.
Do you have?
No, okay. 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 Oh.
Was curious about vending. Tried to send you an email. But I'm not sure, I'm about here.
Yeah. What was her name?
Misty, Betty.
Misty. Yeah, okay.
I would be Paris's mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know Paris.
And that's,
Awesome.
So is there vending as far as, I know there's food vending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Vending.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. You can have a booth